Shadur will start this week. Obviously, number one job of quarterback is to win. So excited to get that first win under his belt. And then next thing is improvement. And that's what young players do. Certainly young quarterbacks do. You get one game better, and that's just from working at it. So that'll be our focus.
There's a big problem in Cleveland. Furthermore, those press conferences only tell you half the story. Standing calmly at that podium in Berea, Kevin Stefanski described how Shadur Sanders handled the week and how he's just like all of our guys. However, there is complete chaos developing within that organization behind those well-chosen words. According to several accounts, Stefanski was cornered by Jimmy Hasslam following practice this week, and things got heated. Extremely hot. The billionaire owner is in urgent need of answers. When we play the San Francisco 49ers, why are we starting a rookie quarterback? Why risk the remainder of this already terrible season on a young player making his NFL debut at Huntington Bank Field? People, this isn't just another ordinary press conference. This is damage control done right. Because of what they're not telling you, Stefanski's employment status after January may depend on Shadur's debut against San Francisco. The official story and the real story are very different. So allow me to explain what's actually going on in Cleveland right now.
Listen, we trust all of our guys. We trust our guys to perform. He's no different. And playing a backup quarterback role, as we've talked about over the years, that's tough to come in there. But we trust him. I know there's things that he's going to want to do better, but that's why we work.
Everything appears to be fine on the surface. The Browns are getting ready for their November 30th home game against the 49ers. Concussion protocol is in effect for Dillon Gabriel. For his first career start, Shadur Sanders is chosen. The coach says everything correctly. Like everyone else, he is focused on doing his job for the football team. He is aware of that. And he's done a fantastic job managing the week. It sounds totally reasonable, doesn't it? However, it isn't. Not even close. What they're not telling you is as follows. There is significant conflict between the coaching staff and the ownership at the cross-country mortgage campus facility in Berea behind closed doors. And it all revolves around one very important question. In what may well be the most crucial game of Cleveland's season, is Shadur Sanders truly prepared to take on the defense of the San Francisco 49ers? Take a moment to consider the stakes involved. The Browns have a 2-8 record. One of the worst seasons in the franchise's recent history is engulfing them. To keep some semblance of dignity, they are in dire need of victories. Any victories. The 49ers are 6-4 and battling for a postseason spot, and they are going to start a rookie quarterback who has exactly 1 week of first-team experience. Nick Bosa is coming off the edge for the 49ers. Fred Warner is in charge of the center of the field. Rookie quarterbacks are completely destroyed by their defense, which spits them out before halftime. Out here, the running backs are attempting to pitch it to the press. It sounds like textbook public relations rhetoric when they say things like, reps help, and Shadur is very talented, processes things fast, he learns fast. When the cameras are rolling and you have to project confidence, that's precisely what you say. However, the conversation changes entirely when the reporters leave the building and those cameras are turned off. Jimmy Hasslam has been asking pointed, awkward questions all week long, according to a number of people inside that facility. I'm talking about staff members who work there every single day. Why now? Why, of all teams, against San Francisco? When this child eventually becomes overwhelmed by the moment, what is the fallback plan? This is where things start to get really hot. According to reports, Stefansky is totally sold on Shadur and is all in on him. Haslam doesn't believe him when he tells him, "This kid is different. This kid is ready. Trust me on this." Not all the way, not even near. And at the highest levels of the organization, that basic disconnect is causing a lot of conflict. You must comprehend Haslam's perspective on this. According to this man, his team has gone through quarterback after quarterback like they're throwaway coffee cups. He has witnessed Baker Mayfield's spectacular failure. He had to deal with the Deshaun Watson fiasco, which assuredly cost him $230 million. False hopes and quarterback busts have cost him millions of dollars. His head coach now wants him to think that a rookie, who only had 7 days to prepare as the starting quarterback, is the solution to a real playoff contender. That's a huge, huge request. If you know what to look for and what to listen for, the press conference on Friday provided us with important hints. Stefansky continues to highlight Shadur's skill in handling the preparation. Naturally, the remainder of today and tomorrow will be devoted to putting the final touches on the game plan, locking in and discussing ownership of all those details. However, he focuses on the details, locking in and adding the finishing touches. We're jamming as much information as we can into this child's head in the hopes that it will stick when the lights come on Sunday. That's classic coach speak. And don't misunderstand me, Shadur has been genuinely impressive in practice, according to everyone on the team. His command of the huddle, his ability to process information, and his ability to project a veteran's demeanor despite being a rookie. This year, the entire rookie class has been genuinely excellent, led by Carson Schwinger, a linebacker who is seriously vying for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Shadur even shares a residence with Schwinger. They are close. The new class is supporting one another, and when you're trying to salvage a losing season, that chemistry is crucial. In order to improve their timing, Shadur has been working extra time with Quinshawn Judkins, the running back who has been dominating the season with 620 yards and 5 touchdowns. You're in the backfield together all the time, quarterback and running back. Therefore, you get better the more reps you get. It's a real connection. That work is authentic. The players think Shadur is real. Shadur is someone the coaches believe in. However, this is the issue that keeps Jimmy Hasslam awake at night. Wins on Sunday aren't always the result of belief. When Nick Bosa is breathing down your neck, faith is no defense. Furthermore, Jimmy Hasslam didn't become a billionaire by acting solely on faith and optimism. He is looking for facts. He's looking for data. He wants assurances. Furthermore, no one in that building can predict Shadur's performance against San Francisco. Let's discuss the specific situation Shadur is entering. Huntington Bank Field will be crowded on November 30th. Even when the Browns are 2-8 and the season is all but over, the fans will still turn out because they always do. However, the 49ers, who are struggling mightily to make the playoffs in a cutthroat NFC, are traveling to Cleveland with a 6-4 record. One of the most inventive and advanced offenses in the league is that of Kyle Shanahan. They have a very nasty defense. All throughout the game, Shadur will be in Nick Bosa's face as he collapses the pocket and forces rushed throws. In the middle of the field, Fred Warner will be reading his eyes, taking shortcuts, and making his life a living hell. The 49ers have witnessed every possible rookie quarterback scheme. They are skilled at frightening young quarterbacks. They are adept at applying pressure without even blitzing. They are skilled at deceiving with late rotations and covert coverages. And as the starter, Shadur has had precisely 1 week to get ready for everything. The coaching staff is now making every effort to position him for success. According to rumors, the strategy is based on making fast passes, getting the ball out quickly, and relying heavily on Judkins in the run game to keep San Francisco's defense honest and stop them from rushing the passer on every down. It's smart football. That's safeguarding your rookie quarterback, but it also severely restricts Shadur's actual capabilities and the offense's potential. And it seems that's what triggered Haslam and Stefansky's alleged altercation earlier this week. This was essentially Haslam's query. Is he truly prepared? Or are we merely preparing for humiliating failure on national television if we must weaken the entire offense in order to keep him safe? That's an excellent question, and Stefansky needed to have a strong response. They're not watering it down at all, Stefansky countered, according to people familiar with the matter. They are being astute. They're acting strategically. Instead of expecting Shadur to be a hero at the beginning of his career, they are setting him up for success. And the Browns have a real chance to win this game at home if the child plays well, makes the correct reads, and takes care of the football without turning it over. Haslam, however, is not persuaded. Do you know why? Completed ever, since he has already seen this exact film several times. He has seen his team develop young quarterbacks with optimism and fanfare, only to watch them completely collapse under duress when it counts. Hope has worn him out. He's sick of possibilities. He desires real, observable outcomes on the field. All of this is further complicated by the injury situation. Dillon Gabriel is unquestionably out and still in the concussion protocol. Due to a quad injury, defensive end Alex Wright is sidelined. Jamari Thrash is also out due to a foot injury. Going into what is effectively a must-win game against a playoff-caliber opponent, the Browns are injured and undermanned. However, Juku and David will play, and that is far more important than most people think. Stefansky himself said it. It's nice to see Dave again because he clearly plays a significant role in who we are and what we do. It feels good to see his energy again. For a quarterback, tight ends provide a great sense of security, if you will. Having a seasoned tight end like Juku as a safety valve is crucial for a rookie making his first start. Njoku will be there when things unavoidably go wrong, when Shadur needs a way out when things get tough and the coverage is limited. It's the kind of safety net that can actually save the life of a young quarterback. Myles Garrett, who is still a formidable opponent, is another player on the Browns roster. He needs only 1.5 more sacks to surpass his own franchise record of 16 sacks in a season. Week after week, the man continues to terrorize offenses. Additionally, Stefanski made sure to highlight Garrett's entire game while everyone is fixated on the sack totals. Although his playing is at an impressive level, I do believe he is capable of more. As we've discussed with Myles over the years, I believe you should watch how he plays the run. Keep an eye out for tackles for loss. Shadur will feel a great deal less pressure if Myles can completely dominate the 49ers' offensive line and consistently pressure Brock Purdy or whoever is San Francisco's under center. That is the secret to success. Short fields and turnovers are produced by the defense. Shadur effectively controls the game. Judkins gets hard yards on the ground, and they might just pull off a victory at home. But for an owner who is desperate for answers and certainty, that's a lot of ifs and mays. Here's why the stakes are so high and the situation is so intense. After the 49ers game, the schedule doesn't get any simpler. The Browns have a number of really difficult games left, including 2 games against the Steelers and another against the Ravens. The season is effectively over if Shadur has a poor game against San Francisco and appears overburdened and unprepared. Completed. Insert a fork into it. And when that occurs, heads will definitely roll. That's precisely the reason Haslam is so agitated at the moment. He allegedly confronted Stefansky for this reason in what witnesses said was a heated and awkward exchange. Because Shadur's decision to start isn't based on a single scheduled game, it concerns the franchise's overall course for the ensuing years. Let's now take a moment to reverse the script. Because while ownership and the coaching staff are at the center of all this drama, another story is emerging that no one is giving enough attention to. It's possible that Shadur Sanders is truly prepared for this. Given everything we just discussed, I realize that sounds completely crazy, but bear with me for a moment. This child has spent his entire life preparing for situations just like this. His father, Deion Sanders, one of the world's most well-known athletes, was his coach at Colorado. Since he was a teenager, he has had to deal with a lot of pressure, close media attention, and high-stakes games. This rookie, who has never been in the spotlight before, is not a deer in the headlights. The teammates notice something unique. Pay close attention to what they have to say about him. Shadur has a lot of talent and thinks quickly. He picks things up quickly. Therefore, he had no trouble going out there, carrying out his duties, and being the leader that he is. I'm so happy for him. It's not just empty rhetoric for the cameras. Guys who have been watching him work in the film room and on the practice field all week are genuinely excited about that. They have witnessed him under duress. They have witnessed his handling of hardship, and they have a sincere faith in him. The coaches who work with other position groups are genuinely impressed with what they have witnessed. They could just as easily be describing Shadur when they discuss Carson Schwinger and how it was immediately clear that he had a solid grasp of the intricate intellectual side of football. This entire class of rookies approaches the game with a kind of cerebral, analytical approach that contemporary NFL coaches adore. Perhaps Stefansky sees exactly what Haslam is unable to comprehend or appreciate when he looks at spreadsheets and past mistakes. Perhaps Shadur's coach sees something truly unique in him that the owner is blind to. Perhaps this time is truly different. Haslam is the only one who is aware that it's still a huge gamble. It appears that there was no complete resolution or agreement reached after the reported altercation between the owner and coach. Stefansky was not overruled by Haslam. Shadur has begun. That ruling is still in effect. However, Haslam made it very evident that there would be severe repercussions if this went awry, if the child was fully exposed, or if the Browns were humiliated on national television during their home game against the 49ers. There will be jobs at stake. This is the actual conflict that no one wants to discuss in public. Shadur's readiness for this moment is not the only consideration. It has to do with trust. After years of disappointment, the question is whether Haslam still believes Stefansky's judgment. It concerns whether the coaching staff can accurately assess talent and make the best choices when it counts most. And everything hinges on what takes place at Huntington Bank Field on November 30th. We are absolutely certain of the following. Against the San Francisco 49ers, Shadur Sanders will play his first NFL snap. Quinshawn Judkins will be in the backfield with him, eager to work hard. Juku and David will act as his safety net in the middle. Myles Garrett and his defense will be making a valiant effort to keep the game close and controllable. Additionally, he will bear the crushing weight of a whole franchise. Because all of this drama surrounding Haslam's argument with Stefansky will vanish overnight if he succeeds, plays calm, intelligent football, controls the game, makes the right choices, protects the football, and leads the Browns to an unexpected victory at home. It turns into a complete non-story. When no one else believed in his rookie, Stefansky looked like a true genius. For the first time in years, Cleveland has real hope again after Haslam eats crow. However, everything will fall apart spectacularly if he struggles. If the 49ers defense totally dominates him, if he makes awful rookie mistakes, and if it is painfully clear to everyone watching that he wasn't prepared for this moment. The season is over. Stefansky's chair becomes extremely hot. As he prepares for yet another coaching change and organizational overhaul in what seems like an unending cycle of failure and disappointment, Haslam gets to say, "I told you so." From the standpoint of the plot, that is what makes this game so incredibly captivating. It goes beyond football and X's and O's. It has to do with power struggles and organizational dynamics. It concerns whether an owner's quickly ebbing patience and a head coach's vision are compatible. A rookie quarterback who only wants to play ball and show that he belongs at this level is caught in the middle of all of this. Let me now explain what I believe will actually occur in this situation. And based on everything we're seeing and hearing from various sources, this is just conjecture. Shadur is going to surprise a lot of people, in my opinion. I believe he will perform much better than anyone anticipates, especially the skeptics. Not flawless, of course. He is still inexperienced. He will play far better than the worst-case scenarios that Haslam is concerned about, which include losing sleep over, but mistakes and growing pains are inevitable. The Browns, in my opinion, maintain a close and competitive game. Judkins, in my opinion, has a significant game on the ground when it comes to clock control. Myles Garrett, in my opinion, actually unnerves Brock Purdy throughout the entire game. Shadur, in my opinion, makes enough plays to keep Cleveland in the game until the very end. The question of whether they truly win is entirely different and depends on a number of factors. On paper, the 49ers are the superior team, without a doubt. In a difficult conference, they are battling valiantly for a spot in the playoffs. Their roster as a whole is far more talented. However, at home, there is a crowd that is in dire need of something, anything, to cheer them up. Strange and unexpected things can happen in the NFL when a rookie quarterback has everything to prove and nothing to lose. And everything instantly changes if the Browns manage to pull off the upset and Shadur guides them to an unlikely victory over San Francisco. The whole story turns upside down. Stefansky is suddenly a brilliant visionary for having faith in his rookie when everyone else had doubts. Unexpectedly, Haslam is the owner who nearly ruined the future by having doubts about the child. All of a sudden, Cleveland has discovered their future quarterback. That is what is actually at stake on November 30th, not merely a victory or defeat in the rankings. Not just the first start of a rookie's career, but the Cleveland Browns' overall course for the ensuing 10 years. So, let me ask you a question. Do you believe Stefanski was justified in placing all of his bets on Shadur against the 49ers? Or is Haslam entirely right to be upset about starting a rookie against a legitimate playoff team after just 1 week of preparation? Since this is the biggest storyline that no one in the mainstream media is discussing, please share your thoughts in the comment section right now. We're breaking down every single snap of this game as soon as it ends, so if you want to see exactly how Shadur performs when he takes the field, you had better subscribe to this channel. Click the subscribe button now. To ensure you don't miss anything, turn on notifications. Together, let's see if this rookie can silence everyone who is skeptical. Huntington Bank Field, November 30. First up is Shadur Sanders. In Cleveland, things are going to get really, really real.